Hey guys, this video is going to be a little bit different than my usual small engine electrical videos. So if you happen to be someone searching for the demo of this paint and you want to check out my channel, it's mainly small engine repair, electrical stuff, and an occasional guitar video. But anyway, I really wanted to make a video on this because I just discovered this. I'm making this video about the first week of August, and this has been out for about 4 or 5 months, but I just seen it. So I had to grab it and thought I'd share it with you guys because it's really interesting. I haven't even tried it out yet, and I'm also not sponsored or anything by Rustoleum. It's just something I bought myself to make this video. So this is a custom spray 5-in-1. It's got changeable nozzles here on the top of it. This ain't a removable cap like you'd see on a normal can of spray paint. It does have this rotary selector which has 6 positions. Right now it's in the lock mode, and you can spin it either direction. 2, 3, 4, and 5, then back to lock. So the first setting that you see here is high output. It's going to be interesting to see exactly how high output that is. The second one is standard. I'm going to assume that the standard one will be the same spray pattern as what's been coming on the Rustoleum can for the last several years, that allow you to spray upside down if you need to as well. So the third setting is low output, so that might be handy too if you're doing something real small or something. And this is what I'm interested in, the vertical and horizontal sprays. So what that means, on the vertical spray, which is setting 4, you got like a fan spray going like this, and on setting 5 it's horizontal like this. So if you remember what Krylon has used for a long time, I don't know if they still use it or not. I usually prefer Rustoleum, but it's got this tip right here that you can actually spin. It's kind of hard to do, and that changes the pattern. So now this one would spray horizontal like this and vertical like this, and I've always liked that spray pattern. I've always got good coverage like that. That's also used by a lot of other like automotive grade paints. VHT engine paint has that, and I think Duplicolor has it as well. I've always liked those tips. It's always been my favorite. So I'm hoping it'll be a similar spray pattern as that on the 4 and 5 setting. So what we're going to do, I got high gloss black, high gloss orange, just general purpose orange, just 2 random colors. I'm not going to use too much of the black because I use black spray paint all the time, but the actual piece that we're going to be painting, we'll use the orange one, which is just a random piece of metal that we're going to paint. So let's test some spray pattern. I got this piece of like construction paper up back here. It's not a brand new piece, and it's been curved, and it don't want to lay straight, but it'll be good enough for doing this. Now before I demonstrate, this video is not going to be a step-by-step on how to use spray paint or anything like that, or even preparation. You obviously want good clean metal. It's not pitted or anything, and primed, scuffed, or sanded before you apply your finish coats. So we're not going for like a professional looking finish or anything in this video. We're just demonstrating this type of spray paint. That's all this video is about. But we'll try to get the best result we can though. And also forgot to mention, you want to read all of the information that's on the can before you even think about actually spraying it. The most important thing, you want to make sure you shake it up. The instructions say 1 minute after you hear the ball shaking. So you want to shake it for at least a minute if the ball's rattling. And even in between coats, or you just got to stop, just go ahead and shake it a little bit. So we're going to start with setting 1, which is the high output. So we're not measuring everything. This is not an actual testing lab or nothing like that. We're going to do 5 spray patterns with this, then 1 with the regular can of Rustoleum, just to see if that spray pattern is the same as this. So I'm about probably 10 inches away from this. I'm going to spray this off camera just to get the paint flowing. And right off the bat, I don't know how I feel about the way that is. Kind of put your finger at a weird angle compared to just being able to spray it like this. So that's the first thing. It feels completely different to me. So setting 1, high output, spray pattern test. About what I'd expect. So setting 2, standard setting. which obviously didn't seem much different. And setting 3 is the low output setting. So that's definitely different. Now is where it gets interesting. Setting 4 is the vertical spray, which you can obviously see how that works. Like I said, we're not going for coverage on this, it's just testing this. And 5 is the vertical, which is good if you're painting like a piece of metal that's stuck in the ground or a fence post or something like that. But what I like about this is it's just so easy to layer it like that to get the spray pattern. And the problem with the other 3 settings for normal spray painting is, like, you know, obviously we're just doing a spray pattern test, but I got runs here. It's so easy to get it to run because it's putting so much out in such a small area. So this is a regular can. Try not to spray the. We're just going to do a little pattern here. Make sure it's spraying. It is. And it's about typical. So spray pattern stayed the same. I did notice that it seemed like this is covering a little bit better than this. It's got a slightly different color on the edge here. It's not showing anywhere else like that. So that could be just from being like a different batch, and this might be actually slightly different color, or it could just be the way the coverage, the way it's covering. That's a pretty good little test of the different spray patterns. Now let's actually paint a piece of metal and see what we can do with it. The first 3 settings aren't that much different, so I'd probably recommend just staying with them 2. I also want to show you a good example of like the high volume one, setting 1. Alright, so we're gonna paint this side orange. This is a piece of an old microwave, just a shell that's around it. So obviously we're not going for a good finish. We'll try to get the best we can. And this hasn't been primed. I did scuff this just a little bit and wipe it down. It has been around gas and oil and stuff, so it's possible that it'll fish eye, which is contamination from oil, and it actually looks like fish eyes almost. So, important thing a lot of people overlook or don't do or don't feel as important is a tack coat, which is just a real light coat about like that, and it's just kind of a foundation for the rest of the paint. Even if you have a primer, you still really want to do this, and even when you put the primer on, you want to do that. But you always want several light coats instead of heavy coats. What I recommend with spray paint, especially Rustoleum, as I found out, is about 2 light coats, and the last coat is like a medium coat. Obviously not heavy enough to put runs or sags on it, but heavy enough that you get a good shine and good coverage on it. I like that spray pattern. It sprays really good. I like that. So we're going to let that tack up. Then we'll look at something else here in just a second. It's actually a pretty good finish from there. Needs one more, at least one more coat. You never want to do something just one coat. It's just no good. So spin this around. But say you're painting inside here, you want to get this corner, like for the first pass, like, see, it's just kind of hard to get in there. So like for the first pass, you might want to go up to the standard or like high output and just get in there, obviously after a tack coat, and just be able to get in there first like that. Then you can switch back to like 4 or 5 to actually layer the paint on. So let's go to setting 5 and we'll do the inside of this over here. Now this ain't the best example because I usually use the horizontal fan spray on like a pipe or something in the ground, but again, just a tack coat. And this metal hasn't been prepped at all, so you might see fisheye or some other problem, but you can pretty much see how that could be handy too, like that. Let's go to the standard setting again, and we'll do the middle part. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Get the paint all over the workbench. Just remember, if I get it run, I'm not intentionally trying to do that, but you're more apt to get it run with the like narrow spray, just because you're covering a smaller area with the, you can see. But if you take your time, you can actually get a pretty good result with just that as well. But I just feel like you got more control and more feel over the fan spray. Before you put another coat on, it don't necessarily have to be 100% dry. If you just barely touch it and it sticks, that's fine, but you don't really want the paint to come off. So if your finger looks like that afterwards, it's probably still too wet. Obviously, if you really press on there. Also, another little tip, like you see this has got this lip on here. You really want to do that first. Like I said, this is a very non-critical piece, it's just for testing. I have noticed that when you change this, you'll get a little bit of air in between it like that, so you want to allow for that. I like to kind of just go back over it just a little bit to get it to smooth out. But to me, that's the easiest way to spray paint if you got paint that's got that vertical spray. It just feels more natural, because most of the time when you're using an actual paint gun, you're going to be using a fan spray like that. Let's look at this a little bit closer. So obviously it's still wet. I'm just trying to show you how well the finish looks. I don't know how well you can see it, if you can see it at all. Best lighting in here to show something like this on camera, but it'll probably look better in the video. But it's actually a pretty good finish. No runs or no sags. It's very easy to get runs and sags with spray paint because the paint's so thin anyway to spray out with a can. I didn't even use a half of that can on demonstrating this. So yeah, it seemed to be a pretty good quality paint. Now, I don't know how the drying time or the longevity holds up to it, but it's advertised as being 30% better corrosion resistance and color retention. So that's a plus. Now I'm curious about something myself. I haven't tested yet. When they came out with this, it was advertised as being able to spray even upside down, which is super handy because it eliminates the spitting and sputtering that you always run into if you tilt the can. So let's see if they kept that or not. And they did. So you can paint upside down if you want. Really like that. Real nice. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I just thought this would make a real nice video, and like I said, I'm not sponsored, endorsed, or anything like that by any of the brands on my channel. All the products and parts and supplies and everything is bought with my own money. So yeah, highly recommend this paint. Definitely worth trying if you got some small projects. Obviously something big, spray paint's not the answer anyway. But for general purpose paint like this, it's really all you need. And they also have this in clear coat and satins and flats and all different colors. Very wide selection of colors available in this. Now if you're wondering where to find this at, I have this actually came from the orange store. If you know what I'm referring to, is Home Depot. I also seen it at Walmart. And I'm sure probably Lowe's will get it, just not in the area right here yet. So it's kind of hit or miss at the moment, but I'm sure it'll be more widespread once it gets out there more. Now I don't know if they're still producing the regular paint like this. I kind of hope they are, because sometimes this is all you need and you are paying just a little bit more for this feature, so that's kind of concerning too. I'm also very curious about something, and we're going to find out on this video. I almost forgot. I want to see if you can take this off and put it on a regular can of paint. So I'm going to do it on the orange can because that black's still almost full and I don't want to ruin that, so let's see what happens. Okay, so you probably can. It just has a regular nozzle on there. So let's take this off. Yep, same thing. As long as this lines up. Yep, so you can. So you can actually clean tips on spray guns, on spray cans. A lot of people don't realize it. It also says on the back here, all you have to do is soak it in like a lacquer thinner, or even just paint thinner. And something like this, where you got different areas, you almost want to kind of blow some compressed air through it too to clean this. And please make sure you got safety glasses on. So if you got another brand of spray paint that's got that same end on it, I don't see no reason why you can't change it out. So that's really good to know. I was wondering about that. So now I got black paint in there. So that's good to know. It's completely interchangeable. Another thing, you can actually order different tips, like on Amazon and eBay and places, for different spray patterns too. So that could be an option too, and you just clean them and change them out. This is set up completely different, the old Krylon setup, so you're probably not going to be able to do it on a can like that. One other thing I'm going to say before I end the video, the only thing I don't like about this new spray paint, where you can actually paint upside down, as you've seen, you can't spray the tip out. Because when you, on a normal can, you turn it upside down, you can clean the tip out like that. You can't do that with these, and you'll usually have to clean it before your next use. But alright guys, this video is way longer than I was expecting. I just wanted to share this with you. I know a lot of you guys are restoring tractors and engines and stuff, and sometimes you're just using spray paint, and this is a new option. So, alright guys, questions, comments, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. If you want to see more videos like this, of like spray painting and stuff, I'll try to do it. I mean, I'm up for just about anything. I just try to focus on small engine and electrical stuff, but I really like stuff like this too. So, alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.